Welcome back to the podcast, the show where three friends review movies. I'm accompanied by Brady.
Hello.
And Lige.
Hello.
And myself,
Copy
Chance.
me.
Hello. I said hello for you.
On this podcast, we pick three movies and then we unprofessionally talk about them every week. And this week's lineup is Get Out.
Okay, fine. Whatever then.
We'll be part of this podcast anyway.
Gerald's Game, and Us. So the theme of this week was we all picked a movie that we haven't watched and that we wanted to see. It so happens that two of the movies was from the same director and producer, Jordan Peele.
Sore spot for Chance there.
Just to let you guys know right now, there is a completely spoiler warning where we talk about everything that happens from beginning to end to a point. It's like we talk about what matters to us, but sometimes not us. So if you haven't seen these movies and you want, to see them, you can back out, go watch them, come back, or if there's a certain movie you want to see, there's going to be a little timestamp right here.
Thank you for tuning in to the Boys Night Podcast. The showing for Get Out will begin right after this little message. The showing for Gerald's Game will be at the 35:30 mark. And the showing for Us will begin at the hour and 5-minute mark. Thank you.
And we also curse a lot, so if you don't like that, also back out. So yeah, let's begin.
There we go.
With Get Out.
Namaste. So the first movie this week is Get Out. Now, I have never seen this movie, and I kept hearing great things about it, but I just never sat down to watch it. And little side note, I've never actually seen Us, too. So seeing both these movies, and I don't think we watched them in one day, did we?
We watched these two together.
We did? One after the other?
Yeah, we watched Get Out and Us right after.
Yeah, it was, I really like, I think Jordan Peele's a great director. I really like how he does his movies.
Kills it.
Yeah. So Get Out is about a man named Chris who is African-American, and he's dating a woman named Rose who is white. Now, Rose comes from a rich family. Pretty, I would say they're probably got some old roots in there. Yeah. I would say. Yeah. So there's a little...
Good band.
Little old Roots. Is that a
no,
band?
Just Roots. I think Roots is a band. Is it not?
I don't know. Grassroots is a thing. Sure. I don't know if that's a band or
if
a
it
genre.
Is a band, good
band. Good band. Whatever it is. Anyway, so Chris goes to meet Rose's family for the first time. And Rose doesn't tell her family that Chris is an African American. So it gets a little awkward at first, as you could guess. And then you just think they just have some awkwardness, but later on in the movie, there's some real bad things happening. There's some subtle hints that it's going to go very wrong very fast.
Did you mean bluegrass?
Bluegrass? Look at him, man. I'm not about the grass.
You said grassroots.
I was like, grassroots. That's the thing. I don't know what that is.
I had to think of this like, what music is called grassroots?
It's all about grass, dude. Who cares? Ass, grass, or ass. I said ass twice.
Everything with soil must have
That's
lips.
a minute.
That's a minute, yeah. It's fine. We're all tired. We're all stuffed. Anyway, so you learn that the mom is a hypnotherapist or a psychiatrist that does hypnotherapy, which is, I don't know if those two correlate or not, but she starts doing some fucky stuff with his head. And then there's a party, like a garden party with a bunch of rich white people and then one Asian guy, which I thought was kind of funny just because it's a bunch of whiteys and then you got one Asian guy walking around the group. So then they go to the party and things start going downhill. Turns out, wait, do we give the spoilers? We don't give the spoilers.
No, not spoilers.
Yeah. So, it turns out that leads to some big mysteries.
Your girlfriend's calling.
I
during
know.
Business.
I muted it. You didn't even hear a ring.
I'm gonna send her a message just as we're done and be like, "You shitter."
Listen here, Tolis. All right.
Yeah. She has all her toes. It's perfectly fine.
You learn that some fucky stuff is about to happen because at the party they do a silent auction, and I'll let you guys guess who they auction.
Whoa.
Grassroots.
All
right, so that's the basic synopsis of the movie. Yeah, so now just on to the movie. What was your guys' favorite scene in the beginning?
In the beginning, I think it's literally the first scene.
Yeah, he gets choked the fuck out.
Yeah.
That was literally my notes.
I think the part that made me fucking laugh when he realized that a car was following him, and he's just like, he turns completely around. He's like, not me, not today,
not today. Yeah, there was a guy named Andre who was walking alone at night, which is never a good thing, and he gets got.
Yeah, he just like, he tries walking, and then he sees the doors open, and then he gets choked out by a fucking medieval knight.
Yeah,
he has the knight head on.
Dude, I thought it was like a black, like, bulletproof mask at first. I did not know it was like a bucket helmet until the end when you see it again. I was like, oh, that's a full-on bucket helmet.
Yeah, it still doesn't really make sense to why he does have it, but
because he's a fucking weirdo.
He is a weirdo.
Yeah.
What else? So I guess the style, like right off the bat, after we see the scene and everything, it's like the very starting scene. You like just the whole style of the movie. It really draws you in. Like you're like immediately drawn in. The music is like I can't remember how it goes, but it's like a weird choir scene.
Yeah, there's like Swahili stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm like, oh shit, and just instantly
was it Swahili? You just thought I guessed something.
I saw it says Swahili online, or it might be Swahili. I don't know.
You're just like, I hope to God that's what.
Yeah, as soon as I said it, I was like, if I'm wrong, I'm fucked, man.
Fuck. Three white guys talking about African culture and music.
We got this, boys. Avoid the hate.
One of my favorite scenes, like one of the first notes I have on here, is use your foot and not head, you psycho. Because Rose she has her hands full and she needs to open she's knocking on Chris's apartment.
Yeah.
She goes to knock on her apartment, instead of just kicking the door, she fucking headbutts it.
Yeah.
Like, that should tell you that she's a psycho right off the bat.
Yeah.
Why would you headbutt it?
Yeah, what if he was like expecting her to come too, and he's like looking through the eye hole, and then she just fucking bonk. He's like, what the fuck?
He's like, oh, I'm done with you. Only 5 months of dating. Fucking bye. Oh wait, I think the opening song was the song about rabbits.
That wasn't us.
No, because right here, like my first note is great song, racist for being kidnapped. Because it's about, I remember it's like about like little rabbits coming around.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
I can't remember.
All right, let's play it for him right here. Oh, we can't. No,
I
copyrighted.
can't.
Hey, I like the editing magic though.
I was gonna do it.
Yeah, well, look it up.
Yeah, we can do it right here.
Here, I'm on it. I got you. So continue on, boys.
Another scene that kind of was pretty wild is when they already start to leave to head out to the house, and they hit a deer. Yeah, and this deer got fucking launched.
He got air, dude.
Which blows my mind because there's like no damage to the car.
Yeah, it was like nothing.
Maybe they're like the 2019 fully metal car.
Yeah,
dude. All right,
it was like there was like a little bit of blood splatter, and then the side mirror was broken.
Yeah, the deer was like 50 feet away
and fucked.
And it was like it was like Wallace.
Run,
like,
rabbit, run.
Kill me, Jerry.
It was run, rabbit, run. Yeah, and then it goes into Redbone.
You can play it. Play it.
All right.
They're not gonna
I'm on it.
I'm on it. Oh, let me go to. Let me just bust this out. All right, go ahead and sing it until we get it up, so there's no dead air time. All right, here's M&M's, which I don't think it's M&M's.
How was that?
It sounds just like. I was just gonna say we could just cut until you play the fucking song.
You gotta love YouTube ads because there's a 10-second one happening.
Hey, that's money for us.
That's not our ad though.
I think this is it.
Oh, I know this song.
It's called Run Rabbit Run.
This is not what I was thinking.
Was this in the intro?
It's like it's the song playing on the radio as he kidnaps Andre.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
It's the song that the guy's listening to when he kidnaps him.
Okay.
I was talking about the
like legit song that plays over. Yeah, no, I was like, okay, so I should have rephrased that.
Yeah.
I got you.
I have heard that song before.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that's just a type song.
That's the song he likes to listen to as he's about to just go jack a dude.
Yeah, I get to see like a medieval knight in his car. Run, he's just fucking like, dabbing in the car. He's just, fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah, dude.
One of the notes that I wrote is every actor in this is fucking spectacular.
Yeah, there's no bad cast in this movie.
Yeah, like Chris, you can definitely tell he's just someone who is doing this for Rose. Like he feels uncomfortable in a lot of things that he has to do throughout this entire movie, but he just like pushes it all kind of under the rug just so it's for her, you know? Mm-hmm. And Rose
go and say it, Chance.
She plays a good psychopath that can act like a normal person, but is still a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
Because there were like little signs here and there.
Yeah, she headbutted that door. Put it over there. She's a fucking psycho.
But there's a scene where she's like, way later in the movie, she's dead staring her laptop with headphones in, and she's just like no emotion, and then her Chris's friend calls, and she like is like flirting with him a bunch of, but she's a straight face. And I wrote on here, I was like, that's the face that people make when they write LOL in their text.
It really is.
Yeah, because she's just like, with this straight face, it's like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
are you for real? Like,
yeah,
Chris left 2 days ago.
Keep in mind, fucking psychopath. She's eating Fruit Loops.
Oh yeah,
dry, one by one, and then drinking milk out of a fucking straw.
Separate.
Yeah, she eats a Fruit Loop, then takes a sip of milk. Then eats a Fruit Loop, then takes a sip of milk. It's fucking psychotic.
Reminds me of my friend Wyatt.
She copied me, dude. I'm pissed.
Dry cereal looking.
It's okay if you eat dry cereal, but if you're gonna drink it or eat it while drinking milk, just put the milk in the fucking cereal.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna eat dry cereal, that's fine.
Maybe
I'm okay with that.
She just doesn't like soggy things. I don't know. It doesn't make
she eats
sense.
that.
Yeah, she eats it one bite. Yeah.
While she's wearing a white turtleneck.
Oh man.
But yeah, the mom and dad also fucking they are easily able to flip it all the time.
Yeah,
but might I add, the dad, he's wearing corduroy pants, and that's the fucking move right there.
Dude, bro, my corduroy pants are ripping, and I'm actually really upset about it. I need to order a new pair.
I got some shorts, and I don't wear them right now because it's too fucking cold outside. But you know, that's
the move.
That's style right now.
It is.
Fuck it up.
Corduroy's come back.
Like the little bear. Love that guy.
So my favorite character is the best friend.
Oh yeah,
by
100%.
far.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
can't either.
I wrote down the first note I wrote about him was funny best friend, and then best dude in the movie, and then I gave him 5 stars. Because like every time he comes back, he's even better than the last time you saw him.
Because he acts like how a friend would act.
Yeah,
like if you were over at your girlfriend's house and then suddenly like you're like, oh, things are weird. I'm like, oh, she's gonna kill you.
Yeah,
fucking dead.
He's the only smart one, and he calls everything.
Well.
No, he pretty much called. Like
sex slave.
They were sex slaves.
So funny.
They weren't themselves, but they were still giving it to old white ladies.
They weren't specifically sex slaves, but it was like,
all right, let's spoil what happens.
That's just a piece of the pie.
Let's spoil what happens and Get Out.
Okay, yeah.
So it's all about rich white people buying African Americans that get kidnapped off the street. And then they do a fucking body transplant jutsu, and then they take control of them. That was my note I thought you'd like. It's some, I put Eno shit at the bottom of that. If you've seen Naruto, you know what I'm talking about.
They just all do like the little triangle thing.
And there's like,
they're just all downstairs somewhere, just fucking dead with a triangle.
So what they do this thing, like, they'll take off, there's a piece of your brain, apparently, that has your consciousness, and they just swap it around. Just swap it.
Or they just attach it.
Well, they said they
only
leave the nervous system left in the African American's body, but then they transfer pretty much the whole brain of the white person into them. So there's still some part of them left, but that way all the motor functions are still there.
Yeah. So there's 2 brains, 1 body.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know shit.
And that's the whole deal with the mom. She fucking brainwashes them and then
hypnotized.
Yeah. Hypnotized. And then then they get to the sunken place.
Yeah.
Where they can't do anything anymore. And that's the I guess there wasn't really much after that up until the dinner party. Like Chris is a smoker. Oh, okay, no, there is.
I got a fucking note I want to talk about.
Okay, what is it? Is it
so there's a part where before you find out what they're doing, Chris is a smoker and the family hates smoking.
Yeah, okay,
I think it comes down to they don't want the bodies to be damaged before they take it.
Mm-hmm.
So so Chris is outside trying to smoke, and then the fucking dude that works on the lawn, who, spoiler, is the grandpa who took over someone's body, just comes full bore sprinting towards Chris. And
it was a meme for a while.
It's fucking terrifying, dude. He's just like looking dead at him, just running at him, and then all of a sudden light turns on, he takes a sharp right corner, or a sharp right. He runs away. fucking terrified me.
Yeah,
so
right when we started watching this, I asked Brady, I was like, hey, do you remember the meme from this video? He's like, the one where Chris is like, mouth open and crying. I'm like, not that one, the other one. And he's like, no. And I was like, oh, well, this is going to be a surprise.
you're about to learn something.
And as soon as you see him like start sprinting, Brady's like, what the fuck?
Dude, I said, fuck that running shit, dude. I say this time and time again. The scariest part of a movie for me is when there's like it's a small hallway and the dude's obviously faster and he's chasing someone down. Because I put myself in that scenario and I'm scared. Like Black Widow running from the Hulk in the first Avengers. That shit terrifies me.
That's the only part that I like don't agree with. Like if I was Chris, I'd be like, oh fuck, and I'd run inside.
Yeah.
I
would have thrown a boot out at him. You fucking running this, old man.
You just take off your shoe and just, yeah.
It's so funny to think of that though. Is that he's the grandpa? It's like it's not just some brainwashed guy doing whatever. It's the grandpa in this body. He's just fucking sprinting everywhere. Yeah. That cracks me up, dude. It's so fucking funny.
Working out.
Yeah, getting a workout, and then when he gets right up to him, he just boom, he swerves him and fucking runs the other way. It's like
that guy's playing the NFL. That was a fucking quick turn.
Yeah, good shit. And then that's when he goes inside.
Yeah, and then he gets hypnotized.
And then he gets hypnotized the first time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and gets to be in the sunken place, which, and the next day he just thought it was all like a nightmare that he had.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have control of his body. So, in your head, you'd be like, oh, I had a bad dream. One thing I like throughout the movie is you can tell people are, like, testing his body and his skills, I guess.
Yeah.
The first time that at least I noticed it was their first dinner just as a family. And the brother wanted to, like, play fight, but he wanted to, like, wrestle. Because he was talking about, he knows jujitsu, but then he was talking about how Chris is benefited by having, like, this genetic...
His body type and genetic makeup is what he said.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, racism.
Yeah, so he's like, get up, I want to show you something. But he's probably, like, testing out, like, how he moves and see if he can do it. But he keeps that's like the only time that you push it under the rug, because maybe he's like, oh, he's just drunk and he wants to play fight. But then when we go into like the big garden party and everyone's just like feeling him, like, all
grabbing
the
his
time.
muscles and everything.
Yeah.
That was my first kind of wondering, like, oh, slave trade, because that's what they did back in the day. That's how you did it. So I was just wondering, like, oh, that's not good. And then the silent auction happens. Like, yep, this is slavery. Yep. This is how it works.
And one of the funniest like things in the movie is how often, like, literally, my note is every white person basically was like, yeah, I love Tiger Woods and Obama. Like, that's like the whole fucking movie. Like, that's all they say. Oh, it's so funny.
You a golfer, Chris? I know Tiger Woods.
He's my favorite.
The only guy that actually had like a connection with Chris during that whole thing, and it was actually like genuinely nice to him, was the one that eventually bought his body. Because he was blind and he wanted Chris's eyes.
Yeah, because Chris is a photographer and he takes. Honestly, they're kind of good. They're pretty good pictures, and he wanted that for himself. That's all he cared about.
Yeah, and then that also leads into the little bit of twist that there is that if you are one of these people that's been hypnotized and then have the body transfer, if there's like a camera flash or a flash in your eyes, you come back into like your body, basically for a split moment. It's not very long, but that happens with Andre appears and he's named Logan or something like that.
He was the first guy that got kidnapped by the knight.
So
it's the brother. The knight is the brother. Let's just spoil that.
Yeah, that was kind of. And so he's a fucking weirdo. But, so Andre comes back in, but he's all hypnotized and shit, and he's like, oh, yes, like, I'm blah, blah, blah. And he's acting super white, you know? And then he goes to take a picture of him at one point, and then he's like, that's where you get the name of the movie from. He starts just yelling, get out, and then that's it. And then, like, they take him back. But I wrote a note down. There was this video from, Casey Fry, where he's like in his car and he's like, I got 2 full 55 condoms in here, and then he's fucking hell on famous, and then eventually he's like, oh, that was strange. I'm gonna get some carrot juice, and that's exactly what that reminded me of, because he's like, get out. Oh, that was strange. It's just so funny how it happens. It sucks though, because it's like It was only for that brief moment.
Mhm.
I figured that he was like cured, but no.
And then what does Chris do? Doesn't get the fuck out, dude.
He's like, that was weird.
Yeah, that's so weird that happened.
Oh, we can't pass over the handshake that Logan gives Chris, though.
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
goes
Those
like
were-
full-on fist bump, and then Chris just puts his hand over
Yeah,
it.
Andre grabs his hand, yeah.
You're trying to TIE fighter his ass.
Oh, Rod. That's his name. That's
Is that the
best
brother?
friends. Yeah.
Oh, is that the best friend? Is
Yeah.
Rod? Yeah, dude. Best character in the whole fucking movie. He works for the TSA, but the only bad thing about Rod is well, no, it's actually kind of funny. Because TSA has no authority over anything, and yet he acts like he's a detective, which honestly is the only reason that Chris is alive at the end, but it's funny, like, it highlights, like, TSA's false power that they think they have.
Oh, it cracks me up. So funny. He's like, I'm TS motherfucking A.
We get shit done.
We get shit done.
I love when he was talking with Chris about like all the events, and then he's just like, "That's Jeffrey Dahmer business right there."
He's talking about like what Jeffrey Dahmer used to do. He used to cut off the head and fuck the head.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about it. It's Jeffrey Dahmer's business. It's like, oh shit, dude, that's fucking funny. I watched it on A&E. That's real life.
He's like the only comedic like cut from
Yeah.
the movies. But it's really funny because like every time that we see him, he's just on a call with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So like the whole time, every time Chris calls him, they're talking about this, and he's like, "Dude, this is weird."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Yeah, maybe they're sex slaves."
Sex
and then
slave.
the very last call, he's like, "Dude, he's like he was brainwashed or something." He's like, "Sex slave!" He fucking yells it. Oh man, it's so funny,
dude. Yeah. It's and then we're moving on to when Chris is like when he finally gets fucked up and put in the chair.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they dude, the way he gets out of it was actually pretty cool. I thought it was fake. I was like, dude, there's no way.
Crazy.
Like, dude's dreaming.
Yeah.
He's in this like stuffed chair and he starts clawing at the arms and he's able to get cotton from the chair arms into his ears.
Mhm.
Fucking genius.
Yeah.
And then when they go to untie him to put him into the brain transplant room, dude just starts whopping on the brother.
Yeah.
Fucking
hits him with a billiard ball, I think. Or
that's
something.
that's
That's
a bocce ball.
Yeah, bocce ball.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
It's either a bocce ball or a croquet ball, but I think it was a bocce ball.
Yeah.
Well, like
Definitely.
right before that, Chris finds out the whole thing about Rose. Because throughout the whole movie, you think that Rose is the only person that actually likes Chris.
Not me.
Well, yeah,
Oh yeah, right off the bat,
Dude,
Yeah.
she's a fucking psycho, dude. I told you. I had I think it was spoiled for me, but I'm not going to say it exactly was. Because I think I saw a picture, but the picture I saw never happened. Because I wanted to say I saw her sitting across from Chris at one point. So that made me think. But then I knew the family was bad, and I knew they were doing something fucking. If your family's doing it, you're probably doing it too.
Yeah.
Well,
That was my rationale.
The only really weird part was how he ends up for sure finding out is that he looks through this like photo book of her with a whole bunch of different people, and two of them are the grandma and grandpa who are in those bodies now.
She told Chris at the beginning of the movie this is her first interracial relationship.
Yeah.
It was not.
It's just like all porn.
Yeah.
We know it's not your first interracial, okay?
We're gonna believe it anyway.
I've been there.
It adds to the story.
I've been watching. Don't lie to me.
I know your history, okay? But
You're gonna lie to me to my face right now.
yeah. So this whole time he's like playing it up. He's like, "Grab the keys, we're leaving." Blah blah blah, and he's still kind of acting to it. But even when they're downstairs, and literally all of them are like, "You're not leaving." She's like still looking for the keys. He's like, "Give me the fucking keys!" Like I don't know. I thought it was a little weird.
Yeah, that was the only part where I was like, dude, you gotta fucking... run.
Just do something.
Maybe in his head he's thinking, oh, maybe these are her friends or whatever, and she's taking pictures. But, dude, if I saw that, out!
Yeah.
Lying.
Well, I
bitch.
think he was trying to, like... At that point, I think he knew that it was all a lie and she was lying to him, but he was just hoping that he can get to the car first.
Yeah.
Because he knew... We all know he could take Rose.
Yeah.
He could fucking take Rose. So if it's just him and her in the car, he's got it. He's fine. He's home free.
Dude, the things that he does in this movie, it's like, dude,
Yeah.
you fuck.
Every fucking kill
Was wild.
blew my mind. It starts out with the, like, whatever ball,
Let's just go bocce ball.
the bocce ball. Starts with that. Cracks him in the fucking head. And
the
then,
brother, that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the brother.
Should have finished. Should have double tapped a few more
Should have
times.
double tapped him. He didn't
Quadruple
actually
tap.
die.
Dude, until you see a puddle of blood around his head, don't stop.
Yeah.
I know.
What was
There actually was a puddle of blood.
Yeah, that wasn't enough.
Yeah, it wasn't.
You wait till it's
What was
dripping.
I was talking to Think Chance about it. Like, don't stop. Like, smash their head in.
Yeah, yeah.
He was like, just fucking smash their head in. Then you know they can't get up.
Yeah, take his tags, confirm the kill. You know?
Take his tags.
Just kill confirmed.
Kill confirmed. And then he moves on to the dad.
Padre comes out.
Where he's like, where the fuck is my son with this guy?
And then he turns down the fucking hallway with Chris with the
It was a
hung up
deer
deer.
antler.
Yeah.
Or
And
it's a deer head.
yeah, with antlers on it. And he just fucking rammed into his fucking his chest.
Brutal. Yeah, it's just like gets
Which
down.
I think is like a callback to one of the first scenes because the dad was talking about them hitting the deer and he's like, oh, they're just everywhere, you know, we need to do something about
That's
it.
fucking funny.
Yeah, so then fucking
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's funny. The dad hates deers and he gets fucking got by one.
Yeah. And then he like
hates
sets
deers.
Yeah, deer sigh.
deer sigh.
Gooses.
Geesin. How did the mom get got? I don't remember how the mom dies. Because then he works his way upstairs. Oh, I
don't think it really showed it.
The dad, before the dad dies, he like rips a candle down and like I don't know why the fuck were there candles in the operating room.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like
set the mood,
dude. Like it's fucking weird that they have candles and like it's supposed to be a pristine operating room. Like you know you have gloves on, you don't fucking you wash your hands, all that shit. No, they got dripping candles everywhere.
Yeah.
So operating room goes up in flames. He goes upstairs.
I need to remember the fucking mom kill though because I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
remember.
it was wild.
Well, yeah, it was like it really didn't show hers, I don't think. Like, it did. She was like, you could definitely tell she got killed. But
I don't remember.
I think it was like a hit in the head with something. I can't remember. Because hers is pretty wild. She grabs this like knife, goes to shove it through, like stab him. Shoves it through his hand.
Yep. He stabs her in the eye.
In the eye, that's
yeah,
right.
That's how he did it.
He just full on outstrengths her with the shit in his hand.
Dude, that was...
And he's so fucked up in the mind right now
he
that
just
he
doesn't
didn't care.
Yeah.
She goes to stab, he blocks with his hand, and then fucking turns his hand and stabs her in the eye. It was like, holy shit, dude.
And then the brother comes back, he wasn't dead, and he starts choking him out.
That's why he stomped her head in.
Yeah, he stomped her fucking head in. Well... And then he does.
Yeah,
he wins the chokeout fight, and then he fucking stomps
which is a cool callback to the jujitsu thing.
Yeah. His ass. Cool. Yeah, and Brady's like, don't stop, and then you hear the fucking
crunch?
Movie crunch. Just
yeah.
Okay.
Good.
And then after this is the funniest part, is where... So this is where we see her upstairs fucking eating her fucking Fruit Loops. And then has the whole... Oh, no, she did the color.
No, that was earlier.
Yeah, but... So now she's doing that. And then... this whole time, shit's just going down downstairs.
She got headphones in.
Doesn't hear anything. She has headphones in. Then she fucking... is still up there while he leaves. And he ends up hitting the grandma.
Yeah.
With the car, and then that's what she hears.
Yeah.
Like, how does she not hear the fucking stomps and yelling and shit downstairs?
She was her grandma.
It was a big thud.
She's like, damn.
So, grandma gets hit. So we listened to a commentary at the end of the movie, and Jordan Peele said that this is his redeeming moment in the movie because Chris has some unresolved issues with how his mom died in a hit and run. So while he hits the girl instead of leaving, or the grandma, when he hits the grandma instead of leaving her on the side, he picks her up and takes her with him just in case he can help her.
Yeah.
So it was like a redeeming arc, which I thought was kind of cool because at the time I was like, "That's bullshit. Why would you do that?" And then hearing that, I was like, okay, I'll allow it, Mr. Peele. So he fucking rips off out of there. Rose gets her grandpappy. They get a gun, and then you see the grandpa's patting and run again. It's still fucking scary. The grandma freaks out in the car. He smacks a tree. She dies.
Quick.
Yeah, she just smashes her head against the window because she wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah. Unsafe. I don't think he was either, though.
I mean, he didn't die, so let's just say he did.
Yeah. Safety first, brothers.
Should have been wearing that helmet.
Should have been wearing that fucking helmet. Yeah, he gets out. Grandpappy chases him down, tackles him, and then we see that fucking ultimate move. Yeah. Where he, like what Lige was talking about earlier, camera flashes him. Mm-hmm. Then that's when the original guy comes back, and he fucks up Rose.
Yeah, shoots her in the fucking tummy.
Yeah,
and then
then commit suicide. Yeah.
Which honestly makes sense.
Yeah,
like
makes total sense.
You're trapped in the sunken place for how many years?
Yeah. And even then, it's like...
Well, I think he was the most recent one. It's either the most recent one or the first one.
I think... Well, his picture was like down towards the bottom.
Yeah.
I think it went grandma, then him.
Oh, yeah, so it must have been he was the first one. So he's been there a
while. Yes, he's been there for a while. But Rose was still an adult-ish.
Yeah.
So maybe a couple years? Which is, I mean, still a long fucking time.
I mean, she got Chris there in 4 months. So she's getting it.
Yeah, she's getting it.
She's doing that work.
Oh, man. So, then we should talk about the alternate endings. I like...
Oh, yeah. That's
the ending they put in the end of the movie, I like, just because the best friend shows up again. But the one I think is the true ending is the alternate one.
Yeah, because that one makes everyone fucking think.
Yeah, and it makes the most sense if it's being real.
Yeah.
Because TSA don't have police cars. So fucking at the very end, the best friend shows up. He's like, I'm TS motherfucking A. And he takes Chris and they leave.
Well, it's funny that the alternate ending is what it was, because even when the cops showed up, I forgot about the ending, and I was like, shit, the cops are the ones that show up.
Yeah.
And then Chris is fucked, but then it was the friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the alternate ending is the cops.
The alternate ending, real police officers show up, and they see Rose on the ground with they see two dead bodies essentially on the ground, and Chris just standing there all fucked up, and then a burning house in the background.
Yeah.
So they arrest his ass, and he gets jail time.
Yeah.
Well,
there's no evidence.
He just recently choked her out too. Like,
yeah.
So
maybe they saw that, maybe they didn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
either way.
And so in the final cut, he doesn't choke her out because like she is like getting pleasure out of it, which is fucking weird. Fruit Loop bitch, you know. And then so he leaves her to die there with the fucking bullet wound. But then in the original cut, he finishes her off.
Yeah. So with the best friend, he leaves her to die. Yeah.
Which I think is cool that he didn't just do the same stuff. So I don't know.
So I say if you're gonna watch the movie, watch both endings because they both have their merit.
Definitely. Yeah. And I said that was my last note. It was just a powerful ending because it's like, you know, this whole movie is basically bringing a weird light onto reality, and it's like, because
racism's still alive.
Yeah, strong too. It's like it's kind of scary because I don't know. I was brought up thinking that it wasn't, you know, because that's what we're told.
Because we live in
Earth,
where we don't. Oh no, shit! We don't live there.
We live in blank
county in California.
We live in blank
California.
I can even. I'll
which
cut
is
that out.
white bread of white bread.
But yeah, this movie did very well, obviously.
Yeah.
Had a budget of $4.5 million, made $255 million. Pretty fucking stellar. Looked up some hints online. Might be wrong, might be correct.
What was the first word you said?
Wrong.
It didn't sound like
right. Yeah, I know. I was trying to speak fast. One of the things was that Chance the Rapper apparently liked this movie so much that he bought out a whole theater so people could see it for free.
Dang.
Because he wanted more people to see this movie.
That's super cool.
Brady called us in the fucking movie, though, that Rose stopping the cop from taking Chris's ID because she didn't want like any trail going back to their house.
I fucking knew it, dude.
Yeah.
There's a part in the movie where a cop, they hit the deer and then they call the cops because they don't know what to do. Yeah. And the cop asks for Chris's ID and Chris is going to give it to him, but then she freaks the fuck out.
Yeah.
And she's trying to be like a woke warrior, but like I was like, nah, dude, you're a dumb bitch. I know where this is going.
Yeah. Apparently, like Peele has said that you should definitely watch the movie again, expecting Rose to be a psychopath, and just watch what she does, because apparently there's so many things in the movies that she does that either keeps Chris there or just shows like what she's thinking.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think of doing that. Like I've seen the movie before, but I haven't seen it in a very long time, so I need to watch it again.
Dude, I was in there. Yeah.
And apparently the sunken place represents marginalization.
Oh. Okay.
Because you're apparently like your voices can't be heard.
Yeah.
You scream as much as you can, but nobody hears you.
Yep.
Stuck.
Okay.
So we'll go with ratings. We'll start with Brady first and sees one that didn't see this.
I give this a 5 teaspoons out of 5. It was a good fucking movie. I really liked it. I don't really have much to say about it, like bad wise. I thought it was good. The pacing I thought was really good. Spoiler, a little bit better than Us. I like the pacing of this movie better than Us. But yeah, I have nothing really bad to say about it. I just wish it wasn't. I wish I didn't know that Rose is a bad guy. I don't know if I knew going into it or if I just could fucking tell. I knew the family's bad. I think I said that earlier.
Yeah.
So if I didn't know that, maybe I would love it even more. But even though I knew that part, still great. I did not know about the mind-body transfer jutsu.
Yeah.
So that was nice. I did not expect that. You can even ask Chancellor Lige. I thought this was going in a different direction.
I kind of forgot about that part.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like hypnotized slavery or some shit. I didn't know. But yeah, it was good.
Throughout the whole movie, Brady was like on the tip of guessing it, but he kept every time he was almost about to nail it, he just went completely south.
It was like you don't expect some fucking Eno shit.
Yeah.
Dude. I didn't expect it.
Lige.
I'm giving it a 4.5 star out of 5. I think it was really good.
Yeah, I give it 5 really loud deers out of 5.
Wow. Oh yeah, because it screams on the side of the road.
Which apparently is voiced by Peele, so...
Really?
Just him going.
Yeah, he makes a little appearance.
He does
That's
a tusk
cool.
noise, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to one of my favorite movies.
We're going to be talking about Gerald's game.
Hell yeah.
Dude, you better talk to Cuthbert. What?
Okay. In this movie, it doesn't really give you a lot to go off on in the very beginning, but it starts off with a married couple taking a retreat out to a house that I think they own, or is that they share with?
I think it's a rental property. I think they own it. I do think that they own it.
Like a timeshare.
Yeah, kind of, but it's like, well, I think they're rich, so I think they legitimately own this house.
They seem pretty rich.
Yeah, because they have gardeners and everything.
His body and his compression shorts. Yeah. He's a rich body. He's a rich man.
And fucking Kobe steak.
Yeah, $200 a portion.
Yeah, they must be rich.
Yeah, so I think they own it, and then they just vacation there once a year.
Okay, so yeah, they're taking this little vacation out, which we found out later. They're just doing it for therapy for their marriage because they're at a rough point in their marriage. They want to like experiment sexually to hopefully light a spark, and things go awry when Gerald. Should I spoil that part? With him?
Yeah.
So I think that's actually part of the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's really part of it.
Okay,
You're
so
supposed to know that.
Gerald hooked her up to handcuffs to the...
Hooked her up to a car battery.
Yeah, I was like, how am I going to save this one? But, to the headboard of the bed to, do some fucking bondage stuff, dude.
Some kinky stuff.
And then, they start arguing, but then he has a heart attack and passes, and she is left there.
Yep.
So throughout the whole movie, we experience what she goes through mentally and physically.
And emotionally.
Throughout the whole movie, and it's just a really nice take on what people go through when they're in a situation like this.
Yeah.
But that's all I'll say about it in the summary. I say definitely watch this movie because
really
I was
good.
tense the whole movie.
Dude, tell them about your notebook.
Oh, yeah. The synopsis over. There's a scene that happens in the movie. We'll talk about it later. But I was so tense and I was screaming that my notebook, I pulled a few pages out of its binding. I was just gripping it so hard, my palms just started breaking the binding.
It was so fucking funny to look over and see your notebook almost in half. He says a few pages. He almost pulled out half his papers. There's a good amount of stuff got fucked up in there. It was so fucking funny.
That's what happens when you are scared and you buy Dollar Tree notebooks.
And then just to clarify, the baseboard, headboard, post bullshit that he handcuffs her to, he reinforced so she can't just rip it out.
Yep.
Just so you know, they say it in the movie because it's the first question everybody says. Why don't you just fucking pull the posts out?
Yeah.
He reinforced them for this very reason.
He cares.
Yeah, because he wants to fuck with handcuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just go right into the beginning of it.
Yeah, I had no expectations for this movie because I honestly knew nothing about it. I just was ready for some crazy fuck shit. Just the way that Brady and Lige were talking about it. My very first note, I was like, does she even want to be there?
Yeah.
Find out, not really.
Not really. She doesn't really want to be there. See, I love anything Stephen King. I fucking love Stephen King. One of my favorite series is the Dark Tower series, which is his magnum opus, by the way, so you know. Yeah. I say it every time I talk about it. I love it. And then my girlfriend came up to me. She's like, hey, I really want to watch this movie. Can you watch it with me? And I was like, nah, I don't really give a shit. It looks like some kinky stuff. I'm good. And then I realized it's Stephen King, and I was right up in there.
Yeah.
Right up in there. And I'm so glad.
in there with that kinky shit.
Props to you, Alexi. Love you for telling me about this movie.
I'll bleep that out, too.
Yeah. We can say it.
No, I was good.
Toeless.
She doesn't get to be heard on.
Boys' night.
So I've seen this movie through. I've seen it once before, so watching it again, I was just trying to pay attention to things. And in the very beginning, there's a radio talking about an escaped convict.
That was one of my notes.
Yeah, and there's a radio talking about an escaped convict that's going from he's going from graveyards and grave robbing. And in the beginning, you're probably like, this is some freaky shit that Stephen King was throwing there. Very important.
Oh, it was very.
That comes back to haunt them.
That's so wild.
One of the notes I wrote before, like all the kinky shit, I was like, have they even been married that long? The fact that she doesn't know anything about steak, and he apparently knows all about steak. Middle-aged to like the 60-year-old range of white married men, they let everyone know about the cuts of their steak.
Yeah.
I've known Lida's dad for many years, and I've learned a lot about steak. Can't really repeat it back, but he tells me every time.
Yeah, that's how they are.
Yeah,
that's Kobe fucking beef. Okay,
unrealistic.
There's the scene. Well, he goes into it.
Yeah.
There's a dog that they see on the road, and it just looks evil. It does not look good.
Cujo looking ass.
Cujo
he even
looking
calls
ass.
it Cujo.
Yeah,
it's funny.
So this dog looks fucking not good, and then she feels bad for it because it's eating like roadkill. So she goes to the fridge. She sees that they have 4 portions of
Kobe
motherfucking beef from Kobe. He says that all the time. So she takes 1 portion, cuts it up, gives it to the dog, and that is when you get a first look at like their relationship, how he handles that. Because the guy comes out and like he's pretty pissed off, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. Like I get it, she's wasting $200 meat, but you had more than enough. You didn't need it. And you kind of talk down to her like she's an idiot for doing that, which is that gave me my first insight to the relationship. Like, oh, he's the power dominating one.
Yeah.
Yeah, which comes into it because he's got some rape fantasies.
Oh,
Yep. I feel like I'm railroading. Anything else?
I was gonna go right into that.
I don't want to say dominatrix because that's not the right word for a dude, but you know, I mean, is it?
I think I know dudes can be doms. I don't know if they can be a dominatrix.
Yeah, I don't know. The dude dominatrix.
The dude. Well, yeah, he's got a rape fantasy for everybody out there, and he has a hard time getting it up in the bedroom
unless shit like this starts happening.
Yeah, so he either needs to take Viagra. They keep saying little blue pill, but it's Viagra. Yeah. So he either needs to take Viagra or it has to be like a rape type fantasy. Yeah. And I think he was just nervous this time, so he did both. Yeah. He took Viagra in the beginning. That's what gives him the heart attack. Yeah. And then he goes in for the rape stuff. And she's not feeling it. Yeah. She is not liking it at all. Which, I mean, yeah, understandable.
Because he wants her to call him daddy. Yeah. Well, no, he calls himself daddy at one point, and then that's when she starts freaking out.
Don't call yourself fucking daddy. Yeah. And that's when you get the first look at, oh, maybe something happened in her childhood.
Yeah, I wrote that down. I was like, that's weird.
Yep.
Yep. But then they start having the conversation about their marriage, and that's when I wrote, I was like, I would not be having this talk inside handcuffs. Yeah. I would say, hey, take me out of handcuffs. Let's talk real quick.
Well, she asked like 5 fucking times, take these fucking handcuffs off me, and he never did.
Yeah. Well, I think that was after it like escalated.
Yeah, he was just hoping that she'd get back into it.
Plus, he's raging right now.
Yeah, he's got a raging bone.
Yeah. He's like, do not blue ball me today.
Oh, fuck. So, so he ends up dying on the bed, like he has a heart attack.
Lays right on top of her. Yeah. Which is cool because the picture for the movie is him like on top of her and like staring at her. So before watching this movie, I was like, oh, this is gonna go into some like, cuffing her up and then fucking with her a little bit. Like I thought the whole thing was he was going to be fucking with her the whole thing. Gotcha. And then when he died and had a heart attack, I was like, huh?
Where did that happen? Yeah. So he fucking dies and she kicks him off the bed and then that leads him to crack his head on the ground. So he's like double dead. Yeah. So fuck, dude.
It's crazy.
And then one of the worst things that could happen, the dog comes in.
Yeah, because they left the door open.
She left the fucking front door open after she's done feeding the dog.
And she looks back at it too.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I'll just leave it open. It's fine. We'll fuck with fresh air. It's fine.
But I called the dog. Yeah. As soon as she started feeding him, I'm like, dude, that dog's gonna fucking eat you. And then, like, the dog walks in and I was like, I called it. Doesn't eat her.
It gets a nibble.
It gets a few nibbles in her, on her, but mostly just eats the dead body.
Yeah, he starts
licking her feet a little bit.
Oh, we'll get to that. So the dog starts munching on him, and when you hear the first bite, you're like, oh shit, they're gonna show it, and they show the dog ripping chunks out of him. Yeah. It looks like taffy, but it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, because he goes in with like the little tongue.
Yeah.
But then it just pans away and you hear just ark.
Dude, and it goes back and he's just tearing. You're
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
He's getting in there.
He's eating them.
He's hungry.
He's eating them.
So then, finally, so how does it happen that?
It's when she sees the dog, that's when she breaks mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she knows that she's fucked.
Yeah, so she sees the dog eat him, and then it's 5 hours later, that's when she starts hallucinating.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So then it starts with a hand on the bed. And she's like, it's Gerald. And then he gets up and he just starts talking to her.
Yeah, he's like, the fucking dog? He's like, will you let the dog take a bite? He's like yelling at her.
I told you not to give the Kobe steak.
Yeah.
And then it ends up that he's dead. But that's a picture of him, like a hallucination of him. And I think it's really cool how it does that, because it's like she still sees reality, but just an added layer.
Yeah, definitely. That's
mind.
one of my notes is this movie's got fucking layers to it.
And that's the thing. So that's what blew me away the first time I watched it. I expected almost exactly what Chance expected. Was, it's this lady that got tied up and or like, handcuffed. Yeah. And I don't know, I couldn't think of it. And then Gerald was gonna fuck with it the whole time. And it's like, nope. This movie has like 3 different fucking stories that go with it. It just blew me away. So that's why I love it so much.
Yeah. It's such a good fucking... So she starts hallucinating about him, and he's gonna play like her
negative thoughts.
Yeah,
much.
essentially her negative thoughts, like, why'd you do this? Why'd you let this happen? And then she starts hallucinating herself. And that's like her survival instinct, essentially, which is like, hey, you need to start doing this if you want to live. Yeah. Or just fucking die, is like what she says at one point. Mm-hmm. And then when she starts fucking sleeping, she starts going back in time to like relive, and then she starts getting toured around by her little girl self.
Yeah.
So it's fucking nuts. So let's just, instead of just, so back in the day in the 80s, there was a big solar eclipse. Her family went to this beach, and she was having her dad was really weird, so like doing some weird shit, and the mom, I think, was picking up on it, and that's why the mom was so hostile towards her. Mm-hmm. So the mom and her brother and sister go out in a boat because they're at the beach. Why not? And the dad then basically he molests his daughter. Mm-hmm. That's the best way of saying it. He straight up molests her, and then since she's had that trauma in her life, she's repressed it so fucking far down because the dad made her think that she was the one that's going to get in trouble for this.
Yeah, he made it to where he was the victim.
Exactly. He was the victim. She not necessarily did it to herself, but she is the one that's going to be at most fault here. Yeah. So she represses that, and that's why when fucking Gerald said, call me daddy, and he's doing that stuff, that's why she freaks the fuck out. Because it starts coming back, and then so you realize, like, oh shit, she has trauma from her past that she has to deal with, plus the trauma in the moment, plus... That's when the radio thing comes into it, because at this point it's nighttime. Yeah. And she wakes up and it pans across the room, and if you look closely in the corner, you see this giant motherfucking dude standing there.
Because right before it does like a POV of someone walking in the house, and I was like, dude, I wish we would have actually recorded this, because I was just like, no. No. And then like it starts painting the room, I was like, immediately, like the first thing I was like, what the fuck is in that corner? Dude. And then Brady's like, what?
Yeah. What are you talking about? It's literally just moonlight.
This is the funniest thing is that Brady and I played it off like it was nothing. Or no, Brady was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, yeah, I see it. I told Chance, I was like, yeah, I see it. And I was like, in the left corner? He's like,
no,
right. The right corner. I was like, what?
What are you talking about, dude?
Dude, I saw it instantly. I look for that shit in scary movies. I look for outlines like that because I hate... Oh my god, I hate being scared.
This is why I wanted to watch the movie with Chance, though. Yeah. Was the part... There's a part coming up that I wanted to see it, but it's this part and another part.
And I forgot about the part that we were going to talk about. Oh, it was so fucking funny.
So, dude, like, Chance just seeing this fucking just made my week, honestly.
Well, it's like, I like watching scary movies. I like getting scared to a point. I like the adrenaline, but I get jump scares and scary things like get me so easy. I've jumped in every single Spider-Man movie just because of like the small jump scare they put. Yeah. I don't know if they do it in like the newer ones, but like the original 3 and then the 2, jumped in all.
Sometimes.
So there's a man who is in the corner of the room, and then at this point in the movie, you don't know if he's real or not. It's like, because you know that she's having this psychotic break, so you're just trying to figure out, is that a real fucking person, or is she just hallucinating? Because the guy looks not real. Yeah. He looks like he's a straight monster. And then Gerald starts saying that that's death, starts really fucking with her, because he's like the negative thought. And oh man, so the whole movie, you see him a couple more times, and you're just trying to figure out, is this real? Is this real life? What the fuck are we looking at?
Yeah, and he keeps saying like he's gonna return, and he does a few. He like makes appearances, like, but you never know if it's like in her fucking head or not.
Yeah. And he's carrying around this box that he always shows her, and inside's like these trinkets that he has. And so throughout the movie, she's freaking out, and then Gerald keeps saying he's coming for you. He's gonna take that ring of yours, and that's gonna be his trinket that he'll keep in his box forever.
Yeah.
And so she's just fucking like terrified.
Oh man. So was I.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did forget to add that the actress for her as a kid when she's younger, like phenomenal.
She did great.
Killed it.
That whole scene stuff, great.
It makes like, I'm so glad that's how they set it up to where the whole movie is her story, and it's like it just blows you away, and it's always in this dark presence. You're like every time it puts you back in that time, you're like, you just feel it's so emotional, and it's like fuck, and she just kills it because in the time when he's talking like, we shouldn't tell mom, like she's gonna think blah 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 about you, and she's just like crying. She's like no, and like
don't tell. I promise I won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
That's when she starts repressing everything.
Yeah.
She feels in her head that if she talks, then her life's over.
Yeah.
She just fucking did amazing.
One of my notes is like everyone in this movie was like, I think that's like the theme this week is every actor just plays their part to a T.
Yeah.
Like Gerald, the dad.
There's no bad actors in any of the movies we watched. They're all amazing.
Not a single one.
Fuck. So the Moon Man leaves, and then the next morning she goes back to sleep, and the next morning you see a footprint in blood. And you don't know if it's a footprint or not because it's so obscured, but it looks like one. Right. It looks like it could be one.
Yeah.
So that plays into the whole part. Is he real? Is he not? What the fuck is this guy?
And throughout the whole thing, I was just like, "There's no way. There's no way.
There's no fucking way.
There's no way. What are the odds?
No way." And then, so then fucking the dog comes back in, starts munching again, and she's like, "Get away from him!" And Chance pointed this out. I didn't even notice that, but every time you see Gerald, he's like fucking decomposing. The rigor mortis is setting in, and then not all the gases are leaving his body, and all this shit's happening. He looks pretty fucked up.
I think they use him as a representation of like how much time has passed.
Yeah.
Or her chapped lips. Get some lip balm.
Get some lip balm. Yeah. So there's a couple things that happen. She needs water at one point.
Yeah.
And she does some crazy fucking gymnastic stuff to get the. It's not really that gymnastic stuff, but she does some.
She should have.
She gets the water. She makes a straw. Dude, she's pretty
smart.
Her survival instinct is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have thought of that.
No, I wouldn't either.
Like I was telling Brady, I was like, I would just prop my legs up and grab the cup, but then I would never know what to do with the cup.
Yeah.
I would have to drink it all in that one moment, or just try to put it back.
So all this survivalist shit's happening, and she's just trying to stay alive. And then she goes to sleep. She wakes up. And the fucking Moon Man is sucking on her toes.
Yeah, straight up like licking it.
Dude, and then she freaks out, and then it's the dog actually doing it. So she just interpreted the dog being Moon Man because she was freaking out.
I yelled so loud.
And so that's the part I forgot about too, because it was going from like such a monotone scene, and then right to that, and I was like, ah! I freaked out, dude.
And then my favorite line comes out. Gerald says, "All things serve the beam."
Oh, yeah.
We'll get into that later. If you know what I'm talking about, I fucking love you.
Yeah.
So that happens. And then it goes into one of my favorite scenes. It's the deglowing.
Oh, yeah.
There's probably some stuff in between that, but that's my next note.
Yeah, I think we've talked about like most of like the big scenes. I wrote some notes, but we were watching in the dark, and I was trying to like keep watching the movie. Some of them like kind of blended together.
Oh yeah, so you got anything else to say before we get to the fucking epic scene in the movie?
I don't think so. I think it's right into it. Because, like, then she's just... Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, one of the key things that Dad says is, like, because you can't keep a secret. Which, like, that fucking hit hard. Like, they made it a huge thing. And that's what she, like, keeps in her core the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, now she's keeping all secrets.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't let anyone know about the home life of her and Gerald. Hasn't told anyone about her dad. And she pretty much keeps everything secret. She's very secluded. Gerald even says that she doesn't have many friends because she doesn't...
You don't open up.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And then I really like the imagery of there's a well that you throw your secrets down into, and there's a lady that wears red that stands over the well, and she always used to think that she was the lady, but now she's not so sure. That whole imagery, and then it goes to like there's like a part where she's like hallucinating, and she's a little girl inside the well.
Yeah,
all of that is just awesome.
Yeah.
It just really it leads to some really just good shit.
Yeah.
And like one of the things I found online is apparently there's like no soundtrack throughout almost no soundtrack throughout the entire movie because they don't want you to hear music throughout this. They just want you to almost feel what she feels.
Yeah.
Because all that isolation within like 3 hours makes you feel uneasy. But you have to imagine what she goes through with all that isolation.
She's fucking So, anything else before we get to that? So I'm just gonna jump into that part.
Yeah.
So fucking. First off, Chance and I have a problem. I don't know if Lige has this too. We talked about it in a previous podcast, but when we see someone cutting themselves, we just can't deal with that.
Yeah, wrists, ankles, neck.
Anytime I watch someone cut themselves in general, I don't like it.
I'm already
dude, even in Naruto, when they bite their fucking thumb, that part always like,
because of the crunch?
Yeah, well, even the crunch are just like, you have to bite hard, dude.
Oh,
like, it's like, fuck, dude.
Because I've tried that in high school, being like, oh, I want to see it. And, dude, I bit hard, no blood.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine their chomp.
Dude, it's fucking nutty. So, she realizes that she needs to get out of these handcuffs. And what's a good lubrication to get these handcuffs off?
Blood.
Fucking blood.
Yeah, because she has a flashback to where she smashes a glass in her hand because the dad is talking about something with the other sister or something, and she like smashes a cup and then cuts her whole hand up.
Yeah. Well, I think the mom asked how she like, oh, how was your time with your dad? And then she smashes the glass. Because the mom gives her like a knowing look when she goes to the bathroom to get cleaned up.
Yeah,
the mom's like, "Oh, something happened, didn't it?" Yeah. And then nothing really comes about that.
Which, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So anyway, she gets the glass of water that she has and she breaks it. She takes the glass shards and just starts fucking cutting her hand up with it, like kind of mushing it in her hand to get blood going.
Yeah. And then she sticks a piece in the piece of
wood. Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
To finally, like, cut her hand open.
Yeah.
And then, it's like fucking
I think it cut her wrist.
Yeah, she cut from her wrist to, like, her palm.
Yeah.
I think that was an accident. I think she just wanted to originally cut her wrist open, but I think, already losing that much blood, she started, like...
She's already delirious. So, yeah, she's fucking... blood's pouring, and then she's like, oh, I can slip off my fucking handcuff now. But guess what happens? If you don't know what degloving is, look it up. That's what
don't look it up.
That's what she does to herself. So she fucking starts pulling the handcuff off, but it's like getting inside the cut and just ripping the skin off her hand as she's doing it.
I'm gonna throw up.
And you start seeing like tendons and all this other crazy shit. And she's just like, ah! She's doing it. She finally pulls it fucking off. She's able to move the bed around, and then I think I can't remember how
she got the phone first.
She gets the phone. The phone's dead.
Phone's dead. Well, she has like a small bit of battery. I think it's like dying, but she like grabs it with her feet, and then she goes to the bed to actually get the keys or get to the bathroom.
Yeah,
which I would have went for keys first. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, she's probably thinking if the phone has enough juice, I can call for somebody.
Yeah, at least if I can't get the keys, at least
exactly. Yeah. So she then she gets the keys off. She gets unhooked, and then the dog starts barking. The dog's in the room because the dog basically sleeping in there because his food's right there. Yeah. So the dog starts barking, growling, and then runs out. So that's your cue to the Moon Man's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. She starts making stuff.
Sorry, we should. So they call him the Moon Man because Gerald says, he calls him Death, but like Death is made of the moon, like the moonbeams or some shit.
Yeah, and he only comes out for isolation because like if she dies, the only thing that they're going to see is that she died on the bed, not that.
Yeah. That's what it was. So that's why we keep calling him Moon Man, because that's essentially his name.
Yeah.
So then she walks out to go fucking, and then he's just standing there in the hallway, his big ass self with his yellow fucking eyes, and dude, it's just
this is again me. The whole time I was like, no, there's no way,
there's no way. So she walks up, gives him the wedding ring, and then fucking goes to the car, drives off, and hits a fucking tree.
Yeah, because. And she sees him in the back of her car too. Yeah, and he's just like, Mouse.
Yeah. So she's called Mouse by her dad, and then he says Mouse, and she ends up hitting a tree because of it. Yeah. So you just everybody needs to keep in mind she hasn't eaten for like fucking 3 days. She's barely gotten any water. She's been hallucinating. So yeah, it's pretty understandable that she hits a fucking tree.
Yeah, but then people come and find her.
Yep.
Get her the help that she needs.
Yep.
And then. Flashes forward to her writing a letter to her past self.
Mm-hmm. You almost said mouse in there.
Yep, her pals.
But also another thing is where when she does pass out and sees the moon man, constantly there's always the eclipse that's going on.
Yeah.
Because she still has that darkness in her life. Mm-hmm. And it's still just taking her over. Like, even though she's safe now, like, she's finding safety, there's still darkness. Oh, yeah. Every time she's not, like, in consciousness or whatever.
And then she has the like what Chance said, the flash forward, she's dealing with that now.
Yeah.
Like, she gets life insurance from the dead husband. Mm-hmm. So then she starts a foundation to deal with rape victims, and she starts telling her stories now.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Cool. But then she still has problems sleeping, is what she said.
Because she keeps seeing the moon man at night.
Yeah.
Because even though she's gotten rid of all these problems, she still...
She acknowledges she has them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she still hasn't fought all her demons, but then she figures out in a news article that he's a real person, so that's also some clarity. Mm-hmm. But then she goes to his court casing and just pretty much stands in his face being like, oh, you're smaller than you. Yeah,
she walks up to him, and so he has not talked at all during any of his hearings.
Yeah.
So unrealistic, they're not just going to let you into a courtroom and just walk in there like that. But she walks right up to him, like literally right behind him. She says, hey. He turns around and he says, it's you, in his creepy fucking voice.
And he's like, you're not real.
Yeah.
You're made of moonbeam.
That's what you said to me.
Yeah.
You're not real. And then then she says, you're a lot smaller than I remember. And then she just turns around and walks out.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the end.
Yeah.
Oh, and what's scary is that he breaks out of his fucking cuffs.
Oh yeah, like they're nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, ah!
Why couldn't she do that?
I would have great.
Well, yeah, he had plastic cuffs, just saying.
Yeah, I looked somewhere that, because throughout the whole movie you don't know if he's real or not, but I guess at the points where there's the eclipse and like his eyes are red, that's when it's like her head.
Yeah.
But when it's like darkness and it's no eclipse, that's when he's
another clue is every time they show Gerald's body, besides the first time that he's dead, you'll see that he's missing an ear, and that's what the guy does is he cuts ears off.
I didn't even notice that.
You're supposed to think it's the dog eating him, but it's really him.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good ass movie.
Yeah, I love it. Fucking great movie.
It just keeps unfolding more and more, and it's like when you think it's just gonna be some fucking
kink movie,
some kinky like scary movie or whatever, and it's like it's not at all.
Nope.
It's just survival and then mental issues, and it's like holy shit.
Should we just head into ratings?
Wait, what about your faxies?
Your
facts and ratings?
Well, I said most of the facts already, but the one that Brady wants me to include.
Yeah, I do.
There's like so many things about the Dark Tower series, but I'll include this one and then I'll let him go and look for the other ones. But he has like some kind of skull around the Moon Man, that is.
Yeah. It's
like a necklace, and that's supposed to be a reference to
a
character.
Skull.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a reference to a character called Cuthbert.
Cuthbert! If you guys know who Cuthbert is, he's a real one until he gets blasted in the head.
But yeah,
spoiler.
I mean, with Stephen King's movies, there's so many references to Dark Tower and all of his other movies.
There's references all over the place. You just gotta keep an eye out for them.
Like, I would have wrote them all down, but then we'd be here. We've already went over time by a long shot, but we'd be here forever. So I'll let you guys and Brady to go back and look at
I'll do my own podcast, where it's just this movie, talking about breaking down the
just talking about all Dark Tower references.
Yeah, I fucking love that book, man. It's his magnum opus.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about ratings. I give this movie a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Just because I was fucking tense the whole time. I haven't felt that way about a movie in a very, very long time. Like, Tusk was a little bit like that, but this, I was scared. I like it. They put you almost in her shoes in a way. Not to that point, because you're not there for days and days and days and days and days. But I also like her talking pretty much, I mean, she's talking to Gerald and herself, but it's pretty much talking to the different kinds of voices in her heads and how over time it starts getting worse and worse for her. I really enjoy that. I would not watch this movie again unless I'm showing someone else. I would never watch this in my own time. But I think that's like a good thing.
No, would you be Wallace or her? I'd be her 10 out of 10 times. You kidding me? I would never be a human walrus. Yeah, that would be the worst.
Because at least with her, she got
a bag.
Yeah, she got a bag. Her hand's fucked up, but she's working on it.
Yeah, but she can still use it though.
Fuck, man. I couldn't go through what she went through, though, either. I can't... they're both strong people.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give this a solid 5 doggy treats out of 5. It's a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
I've watched it twice now. I would watch it multiple more times.
Yeah. That's like I have to give it a 5. It's just so good.
It's so fucking
because
good.
it's one of those movies where you will watch it expecting it to be a good movie, and then it turns out to be a great movie and not what you expected at all.
Yeah.
So that's why I love it so much.
Good fucking movie.
And it's just so well put together. It's a beautiful movie for like how it contrasts like her emotions and like just the time of day and shit like that. Blows me away.
Boom. Okay.
All right. Now we'll move into our main event after this water break.
Aight. Now we talking about us. Okay, so I'm taking this from IMDb also. Aight. Okay, so the summary for this is by Jesus Black. 30/22/5.
You gotta get credit.
Shout out. Okay, so in order to get away from their busy lives, the Wilson family.
He's like, these people keep fucking it up.
In order to get away from their busy lives, the Wilson family takes a vacation to Santa Cruz, California, with a plan of spending their time with their friends, the Tyler family. I don't know, I fucked that up. On a day at the beach, their young son Jason almost wanders off, causing his mother, Adelaide, to become protective of her family. That night, four mysterious people break into Adelaide's childhood home where they're staying. The family is shocked to find out that the intruders look like them, only with grotesque appearances. Okay. That was a good one. I fucked it up, though. So
the whole point for you starting up is so
I
good.
know. I think I
That's funny.
Really, only one of them's got a grotesque experience, and that's the fucking little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone else just looks creepy.
Yeah.
Burnt mouth.
Burnt mouth.
Yeah, so yeah, basically like it starts off with a little girl that like wanders off. So in Santa Cruz they have a pier with like a Ferris wheel and everything, so carnival, whatever.
Boardwalk.
Yeah, it's a boardwalk. So she wanders off down to this like mysterious cavern
Mirror
place.
room.
Yeah, it's a
Mirror
mirror
house.
room. What is it called the first time?
It's Merlin's Forest is what it is called later.
Yeah. The first time through, it's like
Merlin.
Native American something.
Yeah. So she wanders there and then ends up finding like a mirror version of herself, but she's like real. And then it cuts to the future.
Yeah, it cuts to the most banging intro song.
Yeah. I got 5.
No, that's not the right one.
What?
It's just something that
it's like
it's composed for the movie, but it's the anthem one with all the rabbits.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that the money? That
No,
one?
that's
Which one are we talking about? That's 5 on it.
They say it's like it's gibberish is what is said, because the other one was actual, like, I don't want to say Swahili because I could be wrong again. But apparently on this one, the person who composed it actually just made like random noises that made it sound like it was from like.
Cool. It's pretty sweet. It's like so far both of his movies are just amazing with the soundtracks and the feel of the movie. Like this, I don't put this movie as high as Get Out, but I do like it a lot.
Yeah. I love movies that do their own like soundtrack. Apparently, the I Got 5 on it remix that they do throughout most of it. Apparently, they only did it just for the trailer, but so many fans loved it that they use it as like one of the main ones that they kept using for the other family showing up, which I think is really cool.
It's also the opening to this
The episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Our episode. I was like, it's a movie. It's a movie.
Yeah. So the movie kicked off. It's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an opening scene that I really liked. Because the first note I have is when the other family shows up. That's the first note I made in this movie. Because I was just watching it. It was good. I liked it. Yeah. I was trying to figure out where it was going. I had the false assumption that this was about mental health. I thought this movie was about mental health the whole time, so I'm just making dumb guesses.
Yeah, when he kept bringing it up, I was like, where the fuck is he getting
You
it?
could have said no.
Well, I didn't want to, like, I wanted you to figure it out for yourself, so I was like, okay.
Yeah. I think I made some almost good guesses. Might not. I don't remember. You're the ones that have seen it. You're the one that's seen it, Chance.
One of the first notes I wrote is I love the dad. I love almost all the
Yeah.
characters in this. Again, like, great acting all around.
Mhm.
Like, everyone played their part to
Yeah,
T.
they did really good.
But the dad just cracks me up.
He makes dad jokes left and right.
Makes so many dad jokes. He just wants to have a good time.
Yeah.
He buys, like, a cheap boat that, like, veers to the left.
What was
all the
it
time.
called?
Fucking...
The Crab Daddy or something?
Yeah, Crab
like that?
Daddy. The other one was the funnier one.
It's like Biatch.
Yeah, Biatch.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Oh man, the first note, it's not the first note I have, but the second note I have for this is Dad is very naive.
Yeah.
I like the dad, but he's very naive throughout the whole fucking movie. He's just like, nah, it's not real. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Like when she starts breaking into her whole like, hey, I had a bad experience here. I'm not enjoying it. I have like this problem where I think someone's following me all the time. Like his wife is saying that to him. He's like, oh, I could take you, so I think I could take it.
Yeah.
That was actually, I think he was just trying to lighten the mood
He
on that
was,
one.
but she's like breaking down in front of him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you should understand that she's not having a good time right now.
Yeah. And it's kind of, the movie kind of goes fast at that point. Like, right from then, it just, because that's what, like, it starts off really slow, and we're, like, getting to know the family, and then they go to the beach with their friends, and then the son runs away.
And finds someone, because on the way there, they find someone.
T-posing.
they find the man in the flashback scene who had 1111 going to the ambulance.
Jeremiah 11:11.
Yeah. And the kid eventually finds someone who wears a similar jacket, just standing full on T-pose in the beach with, like, blood dripping down his hand, but that's when the mom comes and, like, grabs him. Well, she doesn't see the man.
No, he draws that.
Yeah.
And then, then they finally get back home, and that's when she voices her opinion about that. Or not opinion, but her, her worries.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally the family shows up, and the son comes in, he's like, hey, there's a family out front. And he's like, what? No. And
Dude.
then he goes out, and it looks like, and they're all standing there,
Yeah.
holding hands. Or no, they're
holding hands.
Yeah,
they're holding hands. So they're all holding hands, just standing there, staring at them.
Yeah, this is
And-
where... Okay, sorry, good.
It just cracks me up how he acts. He's like,
Yeah.
he walks out, he's like, hey, get out of here.
Oh, the dad?
Leave, yeah.
Oh, see, this, the first note I have is the son, because in that very moment, he says, oh, it's a boogeyman family. As soon as he said that, I was like, kill your son. Fucking kill him. That's a creepy-ass thing to say in the middle of the night.
How he know?
Kill him. He's
Yeah.
fucking, he's corrupted. Take him out.
Then, yeah. So he goes out there and fucking tells them to just get out, and they don't fucking leave. And
Then Abraham starts fucking marching on him, which is the evil dad's name, is Abraham.
yeah.
And the other ones that scurry off into the fucking the woods.
Oh, and if you don't know who the dad is the guy from Black Panther. He's like, I don't know his name in the movie.
I mean,
But
the main
If you
character,
don't know who he is, he plays this and that.
I mean, the main character is also from Black Panther, so she plays.
They're
the
both
character.
in Black
Yeah.
Panther.
Yeah. But it's just funny seeing the dad go from, like, he's the tough guy that goes, he's the guy who fights fucking Black Panther. Like, I can't remember his name
You're
either.
struggling on these things.
I know. So when this guy fights that guy, and then this,
When
and
Black Panther fights Black Panther.
so yeah, it's just funny seeing him from
M'Baku.
M'Baku. Yeah.
Is his name in Black Panther.
He's the
Winston
hard
Duke is his real
motherfucker.
name.
Yeah,
Whoa,
Winston
that's a
Duke.
cool name.
Yeah, he's got a dope name. Yeah.
And then goes to this just funny ass character. I love it.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, it goes into, like, pretty much all of them playing. They're all great actors because not only are they doing these roles that they do very well, but they're also playing their what we find to be counterparts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all have different mannerisms. The kid fucking crawls on the ground.
Yeah.
Dude, that would suck.
The daughter with her straight, scary ass smile the whole time
Mhm.
just never breaks that shit.
Dude. Yeah, so let's bust that part down. So everybody's got, not everybody, but people have these things. They're shadows is what they're called.
The tethered.
Yeah. But I think they call them shadows that are tethered to them.
Mm-hmm.
So you have these opposites and they mimic everything you do. and they want to be untethered now, and they want to be free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're coming up. It's not just this family. It turns out there's a lot more fucking people out there.
Yeah.
And they just start killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to kill themselves to take over.
That was my expectation, was the whole movie was going to take place just between them, just that family.
Yeah, me too. I thought that's what, yeah.
Yeah, and then, so we end up having the whole confrontation between the two families. The
Tylers.
Yeah. And then they end up killing the dad, and I think that's it for them.
Oh,
right?
I see. Sorry, I thought you jumped ahead a little bit. My bad. So what Elijah's saying is the two families break off. So the shadows come in and they start taking each other off one by one, like separating them out. Yeah. So they have to go fight their own shadow.
They gotta fight a tournament.
Yeah, fucking Mortal Kombat. This fucking Outworld's coming in. So the dad faces off with his, and he's the only one that's able to kill his counterpart with a fucking boat scene. It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, he headbutts the motor to fucking...
Yeah. So he headbutts the motor, and that makes his shadow fall backwards. And that's when we realize, like, oh no, he headbutts the motor, and the shadow puts his head in the motor.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's when we realize that they're mirroring each other. You kind of have a hint a little bit earlier, but that's like the big hint. The daughter has to she's a track star, and so she goes running. And then her shadow, like, lets her get a huge head start that fucking chases after her.
Yeah, and catches her.
Yeah, and then the brother has to go play with his shadow in a fucking dark closet, and his shadow's obsessed with fire. So it's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
While the mom is fighting her shadow. The mom is getting, like, fucking head smashed into glass.
Yeah, well, not really much you can fight when you're handcuffed to the fucking table.
Yeah. And then, Elijah, you want to do the voice?
Oh, okay. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
There was a girl.
So
I think you did it better.
The mom shadow's the only one that can speak, and that's how she sounds. Like
she's like the ringleader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her tethered is like kind of like the ringleader, because I think you can kind of tell she's like the only one that can talk, and she's like, her hand signals sends everyone, and the way that she like does the tethered talk,
like they're sending signals to each other.
Yeah. But yeah, the sister eventually gets away from her tethered. The dad kills his tethered, and in the closet, the crazy fucking Pluto.
His name. The shadow's name is Pluto.
Yeah, sets with fire, and the whole trip, the kid has been trying to do this magic trick with like I forgot what it's called.
It's like a little...
It's supposed to shoot like a fireball.
Yeah,
it just sparks up, yeah.
But he's like trying it the whole time, and eventually he gets it, so he's able to run away, close the door behind him. And the Red getting away from the mom is kind of like how she breaks away, because she was like a fire poker to get out of the handcuffs. And then the family's able to get away, and they think they're safe. And they start heading towards their friend's family's house.
The Tylers.
Rich fucking house.
Yep. That's when you get a point that... Wasn't it called the Tylers? Isn't that what you said?
I thought you called them the Tylers already.
No. See, I thought you were you were going into that already. That was my bad.
The Tylers?
No. See, I thought you were talking about...
I get what you're saying.
Because when you kill the dad, I was like, yeah, the dad dies first. Yeah, you're right. So I was like, oh yeah, he's talking about that. Yeah. So that was my bad. I misinterpreted that. So yeah, that brings me to like why the dad is naive, because I think he's jealous.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's obviously jealous of their wealth, because he buys a boat when they get a boat. Yeah. He's trying to take his family on this vacation. He wants to go to the beach, the Santa Cruz. He wants to go to the Santa Cruz beach, but the mom's like, I really don't want to go. But he kind of forces that situation just to really hang out with these people.
Yeah.
So that's
either really jealous or really envious.
Yeah, that's where the naivete comes in for me. Naivete. Yeah, so they go up to their house, and that's when you see...
Oh, dude, this scene actually, like, spooks me out.
This is one of my favorite scenes, because it's just kind of...
so sudden.
Yeah, crazy how it happens. Like,
you get a little backstory into the mom, and then the dad, you see the relationship. Like, the mom wanted to be an actress, which is why I think her fucking tethered shadow person does the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The creepy, like, crying, smiling thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was wild.
Because those are that's like the actor face masks.
Yeah.
One crying, one smiling.
And the dad is kind of an asshole, and you see his tethered, like, do the whole... puts his hand out, and then as soon as she reaches her hand out, he like goes behind his head.
Exactly. Yeah. So the fucking Tyler family gets got very fast.
Yeah, they hear footsteps, and they're like, "Oh, there's no way!" But they just the camera pans away, and you see behind the twins are like two tethered twins, and they're just fucking right in the neck. It's so fast. And the same thing with the dad. This fucking right in the neck.
Yep. Yeah. And then the mom gets stabbed, but she doesn't die. And then she starts crawling towards who she thinks is her husband. That's when Chance's fucking joke comes in.
Behind the head. But I wrote down that I like the Alexa joke because she's like, it's not called Alexa, it's called something else, but she's like, she muffles, she's like, she wants to say call the police, but she muffles it and she's like, the police, and she's like, playing fuck the police.
Yeah, and then NWA comes on.
That was my last, I was going to say that was my last note.
But
it's just playing that the whole time.
Yeah.
It plays that while they're killing each other.
Dude, when the fucking tether though slits her throat, that was brutal.
That was real brutal.
Because they're usually just stabbing, just quick deaths.
Yeah.
And then she just walks up and fucking just slits the chick's throat.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
And that's when like the main family shows up and they already know shit's going awry.
Yeah.
And I think the dad is the one that opens the door.
Yeah, he's wearing the kimono that the dad was wearing.
Which I keep telling Brady, that's what I want for Christmas. I really want Brady to come over one time for these movie watching sessions. I'm just only kimono.
Dude, I'm going to be wearing a kimono and walk in and hand you guys both one. Here we go.
So yeah, they immediately take Adelaide and the dad struggles again with like another kill.
Yeah. But to be fair, the dad got... So in the very beginning when Abraham, his shadow tethered, comes at him, he fucking clocks him in the knee with a baseball bat.
A metal baseball bat.
Yeah, so the dad's pretty much like hobbling around for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. He's
a trooper.
Yeah, so he's fighting the Tyler's patriarch, the dad of that family.
Yeah, Tim Merrick's awesome show.
Yeah, which it's a shitty show. I'm going to say that on live.
Yeah. The two kids run away, but eventually they come back and they want to fight. Yeah. Yeah. My note was daughter's a badass.
Yeah, the daughter's a straight badass.
She takes a fucking putter and
makes sense though because they said that her shadow is a monster.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that she's got that buried in her.
Yeah.
Dude. Exactly. So yeah, she grabs a golf club, a putter, which is great. The son's a fucking idiot. He grabs a geode. Yeah, it's heavy, sure, but you have no range with that thing.
You have to get so close and surprising.
So fucking close. I'm talking like you're 2 inches away from the person to get a hit off.
Like you'd basically be punching him.
Yeah, you might as well just throw it at him.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, but they
really made me mad. I was actually really mad about that. I was like, of all the weapons to pick, you picked that one.
Yeah. Well, she's like a badass because she kills one twin by like hitting her in the head with a putter.
Yeah, it's a putter.
And then starts to fucking nailing her instantly. Like what Brady was saying, you gotta smash the head.
Yeah, I was so happy when she was doing that. She kept hitting the head over and over and over and over again. It's like it's the only thing that makes sense in the world when someone's trying to kill you. Smash the fucking head.
Yeah, and then the other twin comes up and she hits her in the fucking head. She falls on the railing into a table on the bottom stairs. Find out doesn't kill her.
Yeah, because what didn't they do?
Didn't smash the head.
Exactly, they didn't smash the fucking head.
And then we go into where Adelaide is chained up again, and you see...
They really like chaining her up, man.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be symbolism later on, but we'll get into that. But yeah, you see Tyler's mom in the mirror, but she's like doing a little smile laugh thing, which mimics the actor. About. But she's also like cutting her face, which I think is... I might be wrong, but I think it's because of the whole plastic surgery thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because the regular mom in the beginning was talking about getting a little work done, and she's like, I just want to... a little goes a long way, is what she was saying.
Yeah. I like when Adelaide is just like, yeah, you can barely tell. You look just like last year.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, the mom keeps fucking with Adelaide, which if you notice throughout the whole movie, a tethered never kills their not tethered. The whole Tyler family, they're fucking with this family.
I don't think that's true, because the little daughter stabs the shit out of that guy.
Little daughter? No, she only stabs him in the leg. You never see her actually kill him.
So he just stabbed her in the leg?
Yeah.
I think he's dead. I'm going to call bullshit on that one.
But why wouldn't this one just kill Adelaide this whole time? Why chain her up?
I think Adelaide's special. Like, I think... Because, I don't want to spoil the end. Well, let's bench that until the end. We'll talk about it in the end.
Yeah.
Because of the whole...
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the twins, they don't...
Well, I think
try to go in from behind like the other ones. They're like doing a flip and they're like screaming in their face and scaring them.
Because I think because the wants her.
Yeah.
I think she's the leader. So I think she told them, don't kill her, I get her.
Well, I'm talking about the kids as well. They're not killing the kids.
Oh, yeah.
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 This is a thing later on.
Always fucking with them.
But eventually the daughter comes up from behind the mom, hits her in the fucking head. Well, no. She doesn't. the little boy eventually kills this
Yeah.
guy.
He got one.
Yeah, and then they see on the news that this is happening everywhere.
Yeah, everybody's getting fucked up.
They try to leave, forgot the keys.
Yeah.
So mom has to go back in. Twin sister's back alive. Kills her. Starts getting a little into it.
Yeah.
And then they eventually drive off with the daughter driving because she has the highest kill count.
Gotta call him a kill streak.
Yeah. Then they kill her tethered.
Yeah.
By ramming her, well, not ramming her, but pumping the brakes while she's on top of the car, so she flies into a fucking tree.
And just snaps her back.
Yeah. And then they start making it back to Santa Cruz.
To get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you see the tethered son. And the mom, she had a moment with the tethered daughter. And now she's, like, trying to, like, have a moment with the tethered son. I think she's, like, maybe, like, trying to save him in a way.
She could.
Because maybe she still has... She sees them as her kids as well, you know?
Yeah. I when I first saw it, I was thinking that. Like, oh, like, I can't kill copies of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But now knowing the end, I think it's a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't want to say yet.
Yeah. But yeah, the kid has, like, a gas lining up to the car, which he almost blows up. But then you see... Is his name Jordan? Or Jason.
Yeah.
Jason does like his own T-pose, but walks away because it's a whole mimicking thing.
Yeah.
So then Pluto backs up into the fire car.
Yeah.
But then
it's a good kill.
That's when Adelaide, she needs to be in the fucking military because she blended in with the fucking red car. Yeah. That shit.
Don't you mean fake Adelaide? Fake
Adelaide. She snaps up. Red. She snatches up Jason to lure Adelaide back into Merlin's forest.
Yeah, which is, it's called Merlin's forest now. So she goes back in there to get her to fucking come back home. Oh, like I said, that come back home.
Yeah.
All right, let's just say it now.
Yeah,
because we're getting to the end.
Yeah.
So the big reveal of the movie, while they're fighting, so Adelaide runs down there. She confronts Red, and they start fighting. And Red starts talking about, hey, there are these abandoned facilities stretched all across America. Because in the beginning of the movie, there's a little blurb saying how many underground railways and just underground services America has. Mm-hmm. So we know that there's a bunch of these places because Merlin's forest goes way down, and you just like staircases downwards, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Mm-hmm. There's even an escalator.
Yeah, there's even an escalator. That still works.
Yeah.
Who's paying for that power?
But it only goes down.
So... They hold on. What if that's how they keep them down there?
Yeah.
They can't walk up an escalator. So.
That's what I'm thinking.
That'd be so funny.
It's so fucking funny. Anyway, so they have this big confrontation, and Red tells her everybody was cloned essentially in these underground places, and they were able to clone the human, but they can't clone the soul. So all these people are like basically shells of humanity, and they mimic everything that their counterparts do.
They are made to control the people above.
Yes, they're puppets, essentially. Yeah. So if they control the puppet down there, then they control the people up above. Yeah. That's what they thought. Didn't work that way.
Because they couldn't recreate the soul, so it's like kind of hard to say, hey, do this, you know.
Yeah. So anyway, then they start fighting, and it turns out, at the very beginning, when Adelaide looked in the mirror and saw her reflection and smiled back at her, that was Red. And Red switched places with Adelaide as a young child.
Choked her ass out.
Choked her out and left her handcuffed down in the bed, down in that basement area. And then just took her place. And she was gone for 15 minutes when she first disappeared. Yeah. So her family just assumed she saw some trauma. That's why she wasn't speaking. Yeah. But it's probably because she just literally could not speak. Yeah. She just didn't know how to speak.
Yep. Which she eventually learned being on the top.
Yep.
I wrote down, though, same handcuffs.
Yep, she used the same fucking handcuffs on her, yeah.
Yep.
So Red, who is really Adelaide, set up this scheme to get all of them back on top and to show the world what's happening. Mm-hmm. And essentially get her life back in a way. But I think she's kind of evolved past wanting her old life back. She just kind of wants the world to change now.
Because after there's a big dance scene where both the top and bottom Adelaide are dancing. But that's when the tethered realize that this Adelaide is different, so she's like their martyr. Like, she's their gateway to get out of this fucking hell.
Yeah, because she has a soul essentially.
Yeah. So she forms this whole plan to eventually, they deserve to be on top.
Yeah.
Like, they have souls, they're people too.
All revolves around chains across America.
Yeah, and that's like one of my favorite quotes is the whole thing is like, who are you people? And then she's like, we're Americans.
Yeah.
We're Americans.
Yeah. And I think that's why we also said it's the only reason why she can talk.
She's the only one that can talk.
Yeah, she had that skill. That's why it's deteriorated, though.
Yeah.
She probably hasn't talked in years. That's why it sounds so croaky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, it's croaky because she got choked out, but yeah, she has no one to talk to down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the choke would go away after a while.
Yeah,
I don't think
eventually-
it broke her larynx
so,
or anything.
yeah, I think her just not talking and just not keeping up on it. So like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Go live in a forest for fucking. She's 30-something, and she got kidnapped when she was 5.
Yeah.
So 25 years of living in the forest talking to no one, then go talk.
Basically your whole life.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I could be wrong on the whole Taylor's not killing Taylor's. It's just, I think that little girl killed. She stabbed the dude in the leg, and then I thought she went in for a second stab.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene where there's a guy walking up to a video camera, videotaping it, and it looks like he's about to fucking get him.
well, that might be his tethered as well.
It could be.
We don't
Yeah,
know.
we
We
don't
don't
know.
see his face. But yeah, the reveal's pretty dope because if you watch it again, there are small things that have been pointed out. Like when they were first listening to the I Got 5 on it, Adelaide's trying to tell Jason, "Oh, keep with rhythm," and she starts snapping. She's completely off rhythm.
Yeah.
To be honest, I couldn't even tell because I never have rhythm.
Yeah, I kind of looked towards Lige to see if he knows. He eventually did notice, but he didn't want to point it out.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, because I'm always into music. I love music, and when she started doing it, I was like, why is she on the offbeats right now?
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say it because I was like, because I didn't want you guys to be like, she's not. But
I would just said I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I don't fucking know.
But yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
But yeah, she's like spaces out a lot. She sometimes has Adelaide. The person we know as Adelaide.
Yeah.
Eventually starts like, you see her having trouble finding her words, talking because
Mhm.
it's not her. She had to learn this language.
Mm-hmm.
Even when she was talking with the Tyler's mom, she's like, "Oh, I have trouble like making small talk."
Yeah.
But there was like, oh yeah, and also when she's going down to the thing, I told Brady, I was like, watch, like, what do you notice? She makes a beeline from Merlin's forest, finds the secret door, passes other doors, and eventually just goes straight down there, which is like, how the fuck would she know?
Dude, that's a good point. I was just thinking she's just following the path, like she was just walking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
But no, that's absolutely because there are a lot of doors that she just walks by.
And this is when Brady was like, she's going down the depths of her mind. I was
She's
like,
going in her
"Motherfucker."
mind, man. I'm telling you, I was so on board with that mental illness until the big reveal. I was like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's there, and then I was like, oh, he's gone.
He's not there. He gone. And then, so yeah, the fucking the movie ends with. So in the very beginning, you see this commercial called "Chains Across America," which was back in the '80s the way to fight poverty and hunger. So
Not that big of a thing back then. Like, it was a thing, but then we don't talk about it.
no,
now.
but in 1986 it was a big thing because they were trying to do it.
Yeah.
And so I did look up something at the end, and it talks about like that's her plan is to do that in the end because that's the last thing she remembers seeing.
Yes, and all of them have one glove because she has the Thriller shirt.
Yeah.
So
I had a feeling that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the red jumpsuit.
yeah.
What about them golden scissors though?
That's supposed to be like a symbolism of like it's supposed to be her and her tethered, 2 parts, but it still makes like one thing, like with 2 blades and then makes scissors. I don't remember the exact wording of it, but it's supposed to be like symbolism for that. Like it's supposed to be both of them as one thing, and that's what they use to fucking
Cut people.
yeah. I like the fight scene between Adelaide and Red. Like, it's very
Yeah.
creepy. Red does a lot of like straight movements. It's supposed to be like a form of like dancing, I'm pretty sure. But she just she beats the shit out of Adelaide for a lot of it until like the very end where she sneaks up on Adelaide, but Adelaide just turns fucking stabs her. But then does like a pretty brutal fucking choke scene with the handcuffs. And that's when you start seeing like a lot of animalistic.
Yeah.
Like she's like grunting. Oh, it's pretty scary.
And then the son sees the whole thing.
Yeah.
So he knows.
The son probably heard it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the final shot is the son looking at Adelaide as they're driving away, and the son has this like kind of fear in his eyes.
Yeah, because he walked in on her killing the twin as well.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then pans up and you see the forest and you see this giant train and
Of
just
red.
fires going everywhere.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh, in the last scene, she smiles.
Mm-hmm.
She smiles at him. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
creepy.
Creepy. Yeah, so we ready for
Fix.
yeah.
Well, the budget was 20 mil, made 255 mil. In the mirror house, apparently there was words "Get Out" carved at the entrance, which is supposed to be like just a callback to.
Cool.
Adelaide's shirt. I kind of pointed out in the movie a little bit, but I didn't think of it like this. But her shirt becomes more stained red throughout the entire thing, which is supposed to show like she's actually red.
That's cool.
And sometimes Peele, he would, to help the actors, because you can't have them acting as both people.
Yeah,
sometimes
so would he stand in?
he would stand in, do the same like mannerisms and some like movements that they did the previous day, so it helped the actors like act upon that, which I think is pretty dope.
That was cool.
He's also the voice in the mirror house or the fun house.
Oh,
so he makes another appearance in one of his movies.
cool.
Then I have like two theories. Brady talked about a little bit of one of them, I think, right?
Which one?
I don't know. I don't remember. But one of the theories is it's supposed to represent
Mental health?
No, how we view the rich and the poor. The people on top are the rich, and the people on the bottom are the poor.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
oh, so you probably thought I was talking about that part.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's the same thing for him. Yeah, I like that.
But like, there's so many theories about this movie, but there's one that like stands out that people talk with all the time, and this is the one that I didn't want Brady to look up. It's that Jason is a tethered.
Oh.
There's like a few things that he does. He also can't keep rhythm, but that could also be like he's just following his mom.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes later on. Pluto is snapping as well, but he's pretty good on rhythm. So like a theory is they got switched at some point, either like right after birth or when they're children. One being that Jason remembers doing the magic trick, but he's not able to perform it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a theory that he did perform at one point and burnt his face, but then Adelaide just switched the fucking kids.
Yeah.
Dude,
that'd be crazy.
Okay.
It's a little far-fetched.
Yeah, I'm not buying it necessarily, but go and continue.
But one thing that I noticed is that usually the tethered are the ones that can make the mimicking happen.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, Jason does the mimicking. Like, he done it once in the closet, but then he does the whole walking back in the flames thing. Like, these people are created to control the other ones.
Yeah.
It's weird that it could happen the other way around. You know?
Yeah. So if he was the tethered.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
that makes sense on that point. There's a few other things. Eventually, it does get debunked a few times, but I think it's like an interesting theory.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
What
would support it is that, like, if the original Jason was really there, like, he couldn't talk anyway because his face is burned. His mouth is fucking burned closed. So it's like, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would only think that's it if Red was the one that did the switching. Because Red talks about giving birth to him.
Yeah.
But straight up talks about, like, having a C-section. How fucking she had to do it on her own. Yeah. Not good. So
we can go into ratings. Lightest first.
I'm gonna throw a 4-star at it. 4-star out of 5. I think it was good.
Brady?
Like,
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I heard a pause. So I was like, oh, but yeah, continue on.
No, I think that's about it. Like, it was. It wasn't as good as Get Out, but like it has its own different things. So like, it's like hard to put it together, even though they're by the same person. But it was definitely, if anything, if it was more than a 4, maybe like 4.5, I wouldn't give it a 5-star, but 4-star for sure.
So this is the first time I watched the movie. I liked it. I would say it's not Get Out. Get Out is like a psychological thriller, whereas this is a horror movie more for me.
Yeah.
I give it a 4 out of 5, just because there were parts where it kind of dragged on, and I wanted more. But I get why they did it. But to me, it's just I just felt like antsy. Like I was not paying attention to the movie enough because it just felt like it was just dragging. You know what I mean? And then I had another thing I was going to say. Oh yeah, so there are 3 acts to this movie. I did see that part. In the second act, which is what everybody says is the best part, totally agree. Second act is when the family first arrives up to where they leave to Tyler's house. That is the best part of the movie. That's fucking stellar. That's my favorite part. But the lore and everything else really ties the movie together. That's why I give it a 4. I give it a 4 geodes out of 5.
Yeah, I gave this a 4.5 golden scissors out of 5. Yeah, I think I got more enjoyment out of watching it the second time than actually the first time because you start looking for those little tiny things, and it kind of just felt like a little game at that point. The first time watching it, I was like, I mean, it's good. It's good.
It's good. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's like Peele. I'm invested in all the things that he's going to be a part of.
Oh yeah, and Twilight Zone. I haven't even seen that yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I want to see it.
It's on YouTube, isn't it? Isn't it like a YouTube original series?
I don't think it's YouTube. I think it's like HBO or something like that.
Oh.
See, I was never into Twilight Zone as a kid. But
dude, there's some good fucking Twilight Zones out there, man.
I'll watch it.
You need to watch the one where
That's
the guy's he's the I was just about to say that. He's the last one on Earth.
Oh, yeah, we watched that in English class.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the very first episode?
I don't know. I just know that one's the most fucky. Just because, like, he loves to read and he breaks his glasses.
Yeah.
That's pretty shitty.
Fucking crazy.
And then there's a pig face one that's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty fucking. They got some good ones in there. Then they have some that are like, nah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I think that's it for the podcast, my boys.
Yeah, that's it for this week. Yeah. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Boys Night Picks.
And Instagram.
We got that Instagram.
Did we actually have it now?
Yeah.
Nice.
We got the Insta up.
Alright. Instagram, same name. Boys Night Picks. Follow us on YouTube, Boys Night Pictures. We're still on the same platforms as we've been this whole time. No new platforms. Our next week's lineup, we're getting into Christmas time. So... every week we're going to try to do at least one Christmas movie until like the very final week of December. That's when we'll do like 3 Christmas movies. Next week is going to be animated themed. So we're going to watch the Netflix Klaus, and then we're going to watch Up and Shrek.
Woo! We're on a Pixar kick.
Yeah.
We might switch those around depending on... I don't really know which one's the main event because Up and Shrek are pretty fucking high up there. So I think depending on how good Klaus is, we'll decide.
And Klaus will be a new one for all of us. We haven't seen that
yes.
one.
Though I hear it might be a remake, and I think I've seen the original if it is. But again, I heard that from
your mom's a fucking liar.
Yeah, an unreliable source.
Yeah, I think that's
right. I think that's it.
Nice.
I guess we'll see you next week.
Bye.
I got 5 on it.